Hello, my lovely people. Welcome back. I hope you are doing fantastic. Oh, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Hey, you know what? Yesterday I asked in my WhatsApp group if somebody has any kind of questions, please shoot it. I'll be happy to answer. And a friend of mine, her name is Priya. We work together in the office, and she said, Prithvi, I'd like to know how to overcome the fear of failure. And this lady is a strong woman. I like how she carries herself and the positive aura that she has all the time. And when she asked this question, I said, sure, I'll answer you. So this video is for that. I'm going to answer how to overcome the fear of failure. That's what we're going to talk about. All right. So I'm sure most of us would have that fear of failure. What to do? Can I try? Can I not try? If I fail, what would happen? If people would start to criticize me, I don't know what to do. We all have that, but mostly we don't want to talk about it. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for Priya. All right. Before we actually talk about the fear of failure, I want to talk to you about a story. Yeah, I'm going to share a small story that happened in US in 1930s. There was this person who wants to start his own business. Okay, so he left his job and then he's trying his own business. And the moment he started the business, he had a massive failure. And he thought, okay, I'm not fit for business. Let me go ahead and work as a normal person in a company. So he was working in a company, and then they fired him. They said, you're not fit for this job, get out. So he came out and then he thought, I should start a business, but he is already a failure in business. He couldn't even survive a job. So he thought, okay, what do I do? When he was thinking like this, he had a nervous breakdown. So he was suffering through nervous breakdown, and then he came out of it, and then he starts finding a job again. So after some time, he is losing his wife, his sweetheart, is not there anymore. So that gave him a major hit in his life. So later on, after a long time, he recovered of already he had a nervous breakdown. Now he lost his wife, and then he's finding a job. In 1940s, he's finding another job. He's going into participating in elections. He gives speeches, and then nobody responds to his speeches. He's like, "Who is this guy?" Everybody was shouting, "Get him off the stage! He's not even a leader. Get him off!" So people were shouting at him. So he was going through failures from the age of 20, right from the age of 20 till the age of 40, 50, 60. He only saw failure in his life. And at one point, he becomes the 16th president of United States. I hope you got it. Yes, I am talking about the life story of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of US, who helped the country to propel through the world's bloodiest war, the American Civil War. He was the strongest person behind the American Civil War who helped the country to come out of this. So a person like Abraham Lincoln who failed almost throughout his life. He lost his wife, he lost his job, he lost his business, nervous breakdown, everything possible, every failure possible, he has gone through it. So I always remind of Abraham Lincoln whenever someone asks me about failure, or if I had the fear of failure, I'll always think about Abraham Lincoln, because it's the failure that teaches you the lesson. It's the failure that sees how strong are you in the decision that you're making, right? So that's something that we have to think about. And let me give you some tips, or let me give you some ideas on how to overcome this failure. So, the first thing that you need to think is, before you consider something as a failure, what is the lesson that you've learned? The first thing is always to see what lessons I have learned through it. Right? You may have failed for a reason. Let's say you want to try a new job and you join the job, or you're trying to give an interview for the job, and they're rejecting you. Of course, you've had a lot of questions in the interview. You know what's the expectation from the company, so that you learn something, and then you go for the second interview, you fail again, go for the third interview, fail again, but the fourth interview, you will already have three failure experiences and the lessons that you learned in the past three failures as a interviewer. Now you will be more confident, and you already have learned a lot of lessons, so you'll use the lessons whatever you've learned in that past three failures. So always look failure as a experience. It's an experience that you're going through. So I love this quote which says success is a state of mind, failure is also a state of mind. So what you think could be a failure could actually be an experience for you, or a lessons that's been taught to you. So see any failure as a experience. That's the first lesson that you need to look at it. There is no success, there is no failure. It's always experience. All right. Even the person who invented the bulb, who is this guy? Albert Einstein. Is that true? No. It's Thomas Alva Edison. How bad am I in science, huh? Yeah. Thomas Alva Edison is the person who invented the bulb, right? He made almost 10, I think 1,000 plus attempts or failures to invent that one single bulb. But if you look at it, when someone asked him during the interview, you have failed this many times, what do you think about it? And Edison said, see, I didn't fail. I know thousand ways how not to invent a bulb. So that's how you look at your experiences as a failure. So you learn something and then you come out of it and then you try again. So that's the first advice or the first tip that I'd like to share. Tip number two is purpose. Why do you want to be successful? Right? You definitely have to know when you're trying something why. That why question matters. Um, Start with the Why is a book that I read last year. It's written by Simon Sinek. This book talks more about why do you really want to do something. You may know how to do something, you may know what to do, but tell me why do you want to do this? The greatest success in the world or the great companies that are surviving in the world, they really have the answer as why. Apple, let's take an example. Apple runs a normal phone or a normal computer company. They don't make super cool products. They deliver products in a way that the customers really love. If you see the configuration of iPhone and a Samsung phone, the configuration is always better in a smartphone, right? But why everyone goes for the uh, the Apple products? Only because of this single tagline that Apple has, think different. Samsung doesn't have such tagline. I don't know if they have, but it's not that attractive. Maybe they know how to do a product, they know what to do with the marketing, but they don't know why they are doing a Samsung product. So that's what we should look at it. Why do you really want to do something? When you have a strong purpose behind your success or whatever you want to do, and that why should back up with purpose and the desire. The desire means how bad do you really want it? Let's say you're failing 10 times. Are you okay to get back up and try for the 11th time? That's going to happen only if you have a strong purpose behind you. If you don't have a strong purpose, what would happen is you'll try something, you know that it doesn't work out, and then you try something else, and then you try something else. You keep try something new all the time. That shows that you're not you don't want it that bad. So if you really want to be successful, find out what is it something that you really want and why do you want it. So have that strong purpose with desire. Okay, that's the second tip that I have. First one we saw is about experiences, the lessons. Second is the purpose and the desire of why do you really want to do it. And I also have a third tip. I took a note of it. Yeah, don't stop. The third tip that I have is stop beating yourself, which means when you fail, you tend to put yourself 10 steps down and then see yourself as worthless. And then you say, I'm not worth it. I don't know why I don't feel like doing it again. I don't feel like I can do it. This kind of inner conversations happen when we fail, and we also have this when we want to try something. We'll see what would people think about me. They would criticize me. The fear of pain. I don't know how to approach all this, and that's when you have to understand when you beat yourself up, which means you are losing your confidence, right? And what happens is two main things. First, focus on giving more time. Give it a lot of time. When you had a failure, give it some time. Don't say I'm going to try right away. Let's say you tried something and failed. You're not giving enough time to learn that experience. You're also not giving you're not taking feedback, right? That's the second thing that you should look at. So give it more time, let it heal, let the wound heal, and then you come back with more power. That'll help you. And also take feedbacks. You don't have to ask someone for feedback. You yourself can think and come up with feedback. You can sit back and write. You can write. Writing is a great healing, and write and see what comes out of your mind. So think about it. That's all I have for you in this video. Three tips that I have is to first experience, look failure as experience. Number two is find the purpose. And third is the most important one, don't beat yourself up. You're the super charm person ever. Okay, keep that in your mind. And I wish you all the success in your life. I'll see you another day. And give me another question. I'm looking for more questions. So If you got any questions that you'd like to, you'd